This is Harem, a simple and extremely poor young man who can barely find enough food to survive. He works hard every day, yet when he goes to sell what he gathered, the shop owner throws 2 coins on the ground with contempt and says, "This is all you deserve, you worthless man." Despite this harsh treatment, Harem endures his difficult life, and the one thing that gives him patience and hope is his mother. One day, while he was selling his goods as usual and returning to his mother, they heard a strange sound. The young man carefully went to check it out and found a girl named Alexa. She told them that she was one of the army's commanders and that she was searching for a demon that had escaped. Harem told her that they had not seen any demons, so she advised them to stay inside the house because demons know no mercy. Then she left. After that, Harem heard another sound, so he cautiously followed it and found an old man named Yaz, who seemed to have fallen and injured his leg. Harem immediately helped him and brought him home. When his mother saw the wound, she asked him to bring water to clean it. Harem went to get water, but when he arrived, he felt something strange, and suddenly a demon appeared behind him. The demon grabbed him and tried to choke him, but Harem kicked him away and pulled out a knife. However, the demon attacked again quickly, knocked the knife away, and began beating him while Harem resisted with all his strength. He finally managed to grab him and push him back, but it was useless. The demon stood up again and threw a heavy pillar at him. Harem fell and was crushed under it. The demon rushed toward him to finish him off, but luckily Alexa arrived just in time and stabbed her spear into its stomach. The demon broke free and attacked her violently, but she blocked him with her sword, and a fierce battle broke out between them. Her first attempt to strike him failed, but on the second try she managed to wound him, then delivered several consecutive blows. Suddenly, the demon grabbed her sword and threw her away, then charged at her. But Harem intervened at the last moment, driving a burning stick into its face before running away. Alexa said the demon was not dead yet, so she mounted her horse and chased after it, ordering the soldiers to search the streets. After a long search, she finally found him, grabbed him, and struck him hard on the head. You might be wondering, if he was not a demon, why did she do that? The reason was that the wounds on his body matched those of the demon. She then tied him to a pole, gathered the people, and told them that demons had become able to change their appearance and disguise themselves as humans, and that the only way to reveal them was by touching their bodies with heated iron. She took the heated rod and pressed it against him. His eyes changed. Then she did it again, and his entire form transformed, revealing his true nature. The villagers were shocked by what they saw and could not believe their eyes. The demon told them that they should become like them or be killed, and that transformation means power, while remaining human means weakness. Before he could finish, Alexa killed him. After that, she left, while Harem took his mother and the old man back home to take care of him. Harem did not understand anything about demons, so the old man Yaz began telling him the story. He said, "In ancient times, there were 2 kinds of beings in the world, humans and sages. The sages were far stronger and possessed great magical abilities, so they lived in a city above the sky. They were divided into sages of light and sages of darkness. As expected, the dark sages spread corruption, so the light sages destroyed them. But before dying, they cast a curse that opened a gate to the dark world, from which giants emerged. The light sages tried to eliminate them, but they were extremely powerful, and the war between them lasted for thousands of years, until a sage named Zeus convinced 2 of the giants to ally with him. In the next battle, those 2 giants betrayed their kind and helped the sages eliminate many of them, and then the sages finished off the rest. But giants do not die easily, so the ruler Hermes extracted their power and placed it inside a special box. Without this power, they became unable to move. After that, Zeus ordered the waves to swallow their bodies. The box was placed in a secure location under heavy guard so that no one could release them, and it seemed that the world had returned to stability. But things did not go as planned. A human accidentally discovered the body of a giant, and when he approached it, a dark force took control of him and granted him strange energy. From that moment, he began gathering followers and spreading this power among them willingly, because they desired strength. These humans came to be known as demons, and they swore loyalty to the giants. They even began eating their flesh, and their forms turned into terrifying shapes. Harem asked, "Why do the sages not help humans?" Yaz replied, "For 2 reasons. First, humans are weak and would be of no use. Second, the sages do not interfere in human affairs no matter what happens. After understanding the story, the old man gave them a small gift as a token of gratitude, which was a rabbit for them to eat, since they were about to sleep without dinner, and so the day ended. The next day, Harem went to the square and saw the soldiers burning the demon's body. While watching, Alexa came to him and told him that he had fought bravely, and she offered him to join them. But he refused, explaining that if he joined, he would have to protect people who treat him and his mother with contempt and see them as slaves, and that he could not help such people. He returned home and went out with his mother, who was about to tell him something important, but suddenly, some villagers came with a heated rod and asked her to burn herself with it, claiming that she was a demon because ever since she arrived, clouds had never left the village. Harem strongly refused and tried to stop them, but he could not resist them due to their numbers, and they grabbed him. At that moment, his mother screamed and told them to stop. She took the rod herself and burned her hand, and nothing happened, proving that she was not a demon. Harem rushed toward her in pain, while the villagers left after being reassured. Later, Harem sat with the old man, angry at their situation and unable to bear the humiliation his mother faced. He said that he must become strong, and that the only way was to join Alexa. Yaz told him that he would help him, and that the first thing he needed was a sword. But he would not make just any ordinary sword. He would create the greatest sword ever known to humanity, and it required a rare metal found only at the top of the mountain. Harem immediately set out to climb the mountain. At the same time, Yaz was standing when another person appeared behind him and told him that what he was doing was wrong. Zeus. At that moment, the old man returned to his true form, revealing that he was Zeus himself. The man, named Ares, told him that he does not interfere in human lives or help them. And here the question arises, what is Zeus really doing? Stay tuned to find out what will happen next. In another turn of the story, Harem kept climbing the mountain without stopping, until he finally reached the top. He began digging there, and eventually found the required metal. He quickly returned and gave it to the old man, saying that this metal was unfamiliar and seemed useless. The old man, Yaz, reassured him, saying, "Do not worry, you will see the result yourself." Harem agreed, then went to check on his mother, but she stopped him and told him that she wanted to tell him something important, which made him curious. The mother began to tell him that humans and sages, as he knows, have no connection. But one day, the ruler Zeus fell in love with a human woman, and that woman was none other than his own mother. Yes, she is indeed Harem's mother. Zeus married her, and she gave birth to Harem and another child. But that other child was kidnapped by a mad noble and killed. The greater shock was that Zeus was already married to a ruler. It was normal for him to marry again. But marrying a human was completely different, and it became the cause of a disaster. His wife, the ruler Hera, was extremely jealous and could not tolerate anyone getting close to him. So how would she react if he married another woman? As soon as she found out, her anger ignited, and she swore to kill Harem and his mother. At that point, Zeus took them and placed them in this place, surrounding them with clouds so that Hera would not be able to see them, even from the sky. And since then, they have been hiding. Here, the truth becomes clear. Harem is half human and half sage. When Harem heard this, he was deeply shocked and told his mother that his father was wrong in everything he did. He said that he should have faced his wife and admitted his marriage instead of hiding and leaving them without shelter or a decent life, making him live like an orphan even though his father is alive. He added that the old man is far better than him, because at least he did not abandon them. The mother tried to justify Zeus's actions, saying that he did it out of fear for them. Then she hesitated while speaking about the old man, and at that moment Harem understood the full truth. He rushed to look for the old man, who turned out to be his father, but he did not find him. Instead, he found the sword that had been made for him. It was truly a legendary sword, but Harem rejected it in his heart, insisting that he wanted nothing from his father, and he threw the sword away. On the other side, Commander Alexa had obtained a map from the demon she had killed, and suddenly discovered that it contained hidden paths. But soon she found herself and her soldiers surrounded by a group of people, who suddenly transformed into demons. Everyone prepared to fight, but it was useless. A flying demon appeared and fired an arrow at incredible speed, hitting one of the soldiers. Then it descended and eliminated everyone within moments. When they checked the bodies, they did not find Alexa, so they concluded that she had escaped. Their leader ordered them to find her quickly and retrieve the map, so they released special dogs to track her scent. At the same time, Zeus was with Heron's mother. She asked him to take them away from this place, but he apologized, saying he could not do that. She cried and said, "Do you fear Hera more than you love me?" Then she left and walked away. After that, Zeus went to Heron and appeared before him in his true form. Heron angrily asked him, "Why did you leave us all these years? Why did you not take us to live with you?" Zeus replied apologetically that he had no answer now and wished for his forgiveness. But Heron refused and told him that he did not want to see him again. At that moment, Zeus disappeared. Heron sat thinking about everything that had happened. Suddenly, Alexa appeared running toward him, shouting for him to run quickly. He rushed to help her, and when he turned back, he saw a terrifying sight: a strange three-headed dog chasing them. On the other side, we witness an intense battle in the realm of the sages, between Apollo, the long-haired one, and his brother Hermes against Ares. By the way, Zeus is married to more than one woman, but all of them are sages. Heron's mother is the only human among them. And that is exactly what fueled Hera's extreme jealousy, as she saw it as an insult, as if Zeus had preferred a human woman over her. As for Ares, he is Hera's true son, while the rest of Zeus's children are only his half-siblings. The friendly duel begins. Hermes, with his incredible speed, tries to attack Ares, but Ares easily dodges. Apollo quickly joins in, but Ares strikes him and knocks him to the ground in a single moment. At that moment, Zeus arrives and speaks to Ares, asking him what he told Hera, since no one knew his location except him, and now she is furious. While he is speaking, Hera arrives and says that Ares told her nothing. She already knew. Then she leaves, and Zeus follows her, beginning to apologize. Hera confronts him in anger, saying that he abandoned her and married a human woman, and that every time he went down to the human world, it was only to spend time with her. Her rage was so intense that her power was bursting everywhere. Then she openly declares that she will kill Heron and his mother no matter the cost, which makes Zeus furious as he warns her strongly not to do so. After that, she calms down slightly and tells him that everyone has started mocking him for being married to multiple women, and even worse, for marrying a human. Some even wanted to remove him from his position as commander of the armies, but she was the one who stopped them and reminded them of his achievements in the war against the giants. Zeus responds by telling her not to overestimate herself, and warns her again not to touch Heron or his mother. Then she leaves. After that, Hermes comes and tells Zeus that Heron's city is under attack by demons, so Zeus asks him to remove the cover of clouds. The scene then shifts to Alexa, as the three-headed dog attacks her. She fights it with her sword, but it traps her. Luckily, Heron intervenes with his arrows. Though the dog is barely affected, Alexa steps in again, inflicting serious wounds. And then Heron continues the attack with his wooden staff, managing to cut off one of its heads. Suddenly, a massive number of demons appear on the mountain and chase both Heron and Alexa. They run as fast as they can, but the demons are just as fast, if not faster. Above all that, the demon leader stands at a distance, watching everything silently. His presence truly terrifying. Here, Heron surprises everyone with a brilliant move. He fires an arrow that strikes a massive rock, causing it to fall onto the demons and trigger a chain reaction of collapsing stones, killing many of them. After that, the two enter the city. Alexa goes to search for a solution to the crisis, while Heron heads off to find his mother. He calls out for her everywhere, but suddenly the demon leader spots him and prepares to throw his spear. At that moment, Zeus is watching everything. We learn that strict laws were set thousands of years ago, preventing sages from interfering in human affairs. But Zeus cannot stand by while his son is about to die, so he quickly warns him, allowing Heron to dodge the spear at the last second. However, things do not go exactly as Zeus intended. The demon recalls his spear using his power and strikes Heron's arm, causing him to bleed. Despite that, Heron does not give up. He attacks with all his arrows, but they have no effect on the demon, who continues advancing toward him, trying to kill him again and again, while Heron resists with everything he has. In the end, Heron realizes he is no match for him at this moment, so he quickly escapes. But the demon relentlessly chases him, attempting to kill him in every possible way. Suddenly, Harem comes up with a clever idea. He pours a flammable liquid on the ground, then moves quickly around. In an instant, he ignites an arrow and fires it at the liquid, causing the entire area to burst into flames at once. He continues running until he finally reaches the gate of another city. There, a man is about to close the gate. Harem begs him to wait, but the man refuses and speaks to him with contempt. He cuts the rope, closing the gate, but Harem manages to slip through at the last moment with great difficulty. The man then runs away in fear. Harem picks up a sword and continues searching. Meanwhile, Alexa finds a mine and tells the people to follow her, intending to hide them there. But things do not go as planned. The demon leader arrives in an instant and seals the entrance of the mine. At the same time, Harem is hiding from a group of demons, and his mother is also hiding. Then we return to the demon leader, who introduces himself as Sero. He gives them two choices, death or revealing Alexa's location. He also demands that only one person speak on behalf of everyone. Naturally, everyone is terrified. Sero says he does not want any nobles related to the king to speak. But at that moment, the same despicable man who treated Harem with contempt steps forward, offering to speak for the people. He boasts about his lineage, saying he is a noble, and that King Chris is his grandfather. Sero responds by saying that King Chris is the one who caused the scar on his face, and every time he sees one of his relatives, his anger rises and he kills them. The man freezes in terror, then collapses crying. At that moment, one of the demons informs Sero that they have found Alexa's trail. Sero immediately leaves. The cowardly noble thinks that people like him cannot die, but suddenly his body is split in half, and it was Sero who did it. Soon after, Sero arrives at the place where Alexa is hiding and begins searching for her. It becomes clear that the map she carries is extremely important. At that moment, Zeus intervenes and creates magical plants around Alexa to hide her scent, causing the demons to lose her trail. But unfortunately, Hera is watching Zeus, and she decides to interfere as well. She makes Alexa's scarf fly into the air, allowing the demons to track it. The shocking part is that it leads them straight to Harem's mother's house. When Sero arrives, he breaks the door and drags her outside by force. Zeus is shocked and tries to intervene. But at that moment, all the noble sages arrive, after Hera informed them, and they stop him. They remind him that the laws forbid sages from interfering in human affairs no matter what happens. Zeus becomes furious and nearly refuses to comply, but when he sees everyone ready to attack him, he backs down, as the odds are not in his favor. On the other side, Sero drags Harem's mother outside and asks her about Alexa's location, but she tells him the truth, that she does not know. Then the old woman steps in to defend her, but Sero kills her coldly with his spear. At that moment, the mother becomes terrified and begins praying for Harem's safety. Meanwhile, Sero reaches the peak of his frustration and prepares to kill her. But unexpectedly, Harem arrives. He immediately attacks, striking one demon and knocking another down. But when he reaches Sero, he delivers a powerful blow, one that could have killed any ordinary person. However, the real problem comes next. His mother suddenly tries to approach him, and Sero punches her violently, slamming her into a tree. Harem cannot bear it. He rises quickly and attacks with everything he has. His punches are weak, but he is giving it his all. As expected, the demon is unaffected. Then begins his counterattack, completely crushing Harem. After that, Sero throws his spear into the air, and the shocking moment comes when it descends and pierces Harem's mother, killing her. Harem screams at the top of his lungs and tries to hold his mother's hand, but it is already too late. At that moment, Zeus stops speaking with the others and turns to see what happened, standing there in shock, unable to believe it. As for Hera, she is extremely pleased with what has happened. In the end, Sero orders his soldiers to take Harem away, and they carry out his command. Finally, we see Alexa, who leaves her hiding place and returns to the village, only to be completely shocked by the horrifying scenes she finds. As she walks, she notices Zeus in the form of the old man, sitting beside his wife, clearly overwhelmed with sorrow. He realizes she is searching for Harem, so he tells her that the demons have captured him, and she immediately rushes off to find him. At the same time, Harem is being held inside a moving cage, along with a group of strong, heavily built men. The demons intend to turn them into demons like themselves. When Harem understands what is happening, he asks about the demon Sero. One of the men tells him that he overheard the demons saying Sero is currently chasing Alexa. And indeed, we see Sero pursuing her as she runs between trees and rocks until she hides behind a waterfall. He spots her and attacks, but things are not what they seem. Alexa suddenly surprises him by pulling his spear away, and her appearance changes instantly, revealing her true form. It is Hira herself. Yes, she has decided to intervene personally. She begins speaking to Sero and orders him to kneel. When he refuses, she forces him with her overwhelming power. Her aura fills the entire place, to the point that even this massive monster steps back in fear. Sero asks why she has come, and she tells him that, just like him, she seeks revenge. She then begins recounting his past, but he does not believe her. So she grabs his head and shows him the truth. She reveals that as a child, he was kidnapped by a man who hated children and was thrown off a cliff. A woman witnessed what happened, saved him, and decided to raise him, fleeing with him into the forest to escape that evil man. One day, while they were inside a cave, a giant bear attacked them. Hira claims she was the one who stopped the bear, though that is not the truth. In any case, the bear became Sero's companion, and over the years, he grew up living among animals, like a Tarzan figure in an anime world. Later, he saw the woman who raised him being beaten by soldiers. They had also brought her sister and her husband, and killed them in front of her for no reason other than amusement. Sero could not endure this, so he intervened and killed one of them, then commanded the bears to attack the rest, eliminating them within moments. However, during the chaos, one soldier managed to kill the woman and even wounded Sero across the face. The soldier escaped, and Sero went on to live a harsh life. People mocked him and looked down on him as if he were a monster. Hatred filled his heart, and he began hunting down the last soldier who injured him, eventually killing him mercilessly. But a girl witnessed it and screamed, alerting nearby soldiers who began chasing him. He fled, jumped off a cliff, and the waves carried him to a strange cave. He entered the cave without knowing what awaited him and found the bodies of giants inside. When he approached them, a dark force took control of him and forced him to eat their flesh, transforming him into the first demon in the world. After that, he used his spear to kill the soldiers who had followed him, but he spared a few not out of mercy, but to turn them into demons like himself, making them his followers. And that is the story of the first demon in this world, a past filled with pain and suffering. Since then, Sero believed that everything that happened to him was because of the man who kidnapped him, and he spent his life searching for him to take revenge. After Hira shows him his entire past, including the parts he had forgotten, she shocks him with the ultimate truth. She tells him she will lead him to the person he seeks revenge against, but only if he follows her orders. Then she reveals the greatest secret. His father is Zeus, his mother is the human woman, and Harem is his brother. At this moment, everything becomes clear. The second child Zeus had, the one who was kidnapped, was actually Sero himself. When he hears this, he realizes that he killed his own mother with his own hands, and he breaks down in rage and sorrow. Hira tells him again that she will show him who caused his suffering, but first, he must kill Zeus. Sero screams in fury, torn between grief for his mother and hatred for his life. In the end, he agrees to help her in exchange for learning the truth about the man who kidnapped him. And just like that, Hira plants dark thoughts deep within his mind and achieves her goal completely. Because in reality, she was the one behind everything. She pushed events toward this outcome, manipulated Sero into killing his own mother, and made Harem's life, along with his mother's, full of suffering, all driven by jealousy, because she saw Zeus's marriage to a human as a personal insult. Anyway, Sero agrees to all of Hira's demands. Now let's move to what is happening with our hero. Harem was chained along with a group of other people, while the demons were driving them forward until they reached massive ships, then forced them to board. In another line of events, Alexa notices that the map she carries contains strange symbols, so she quickly heads to her former mentor, a half-human named Chiron. This man is highly knowledgeable in ancient languages. Alexa meets him, greets him, and tells him everything that happened, then shows him the map. Chiron begins examining it carefully. He successfully translates it and tells her that the map leads to a cave containing the bodies of the giants. If those bodies are burned, all demons will either die or return to their human form. While he is speaking, he lights dim lamps. But suddenly, without any warning, demons appear, revealing that they had been there all along. Chiron speaks apologetically and says, "I'm sorry, Alexa, they gave me a choice. Either destroy my entire race or hand you over. I couldn't sacrifice thousands of lives for one person." At that moment, Alexa draws her sword and immediately begins fighting the demons without hesitation. Sero intervenes and throws his spear at her, but Chiron manages to push her away at the last second. Then he makes a clever move, pouring a strange substance on the ground and placing some of it on the map, something whose purpose will become clear later. Meanwhile, Sero orders his followers to capture Alexa. When Chiron tries to object, Sero forces him to choose between saving her or saving everyone else present, leaving him helpless and silent. Alexa is captured, and we shift back to the other side, where Harem is on the ship with the others, forced to row. Harem meets two young men and talks with them, telling them he has a plan to escape. Then we move to Sero, who chains Alexa to a rock and tries to force her to transform into a demon. At that moment, he receives a summons from Hera, so he heads to her tent. Before entering, he kills an injured demon, seeing him as weak. Inside the tent, Hera gives him a new mission. He must find a specific sword that Zeus forged to give to someone named Harem. Of course, Sero still does not know that Harem is his brother. He agrees to the task, goes to the village, searches, and eventually finds the sword placed on top of a rock. He takes it and tests it, discovering that it is a legendary weapon capable of cutting through anything. On the other side, Harem and his companions begin executing their escape plan. One of them, Evo, pretends he needs to relieve himself, starting an argument with Kofi about who should go first. He then pushes him, causing him to bump into the guard. The demon beats them and orders them back, which they do. But their plan has already worked, as Evo cleverly manages to steal the key. He frees himself, then releases Kofi. Together, they attack the guard, and Harem joins them after freeing himself. At a decisive moment, Harem grabs the sword and kills the demon. The other demons notice what is happening, but the three of them quickly confront and eliminate them, then free the remaining prisoners. Harem and his companions move to the deck of the ship and fight the demons using different techniques, managing to defeat them all in a short time. The freed prisoners then take control of the ship, change its course, and even destroy one of the demon ships before leaving. Meanwhile, Hermes goes to his father Zeus and tells him that he had been wandering in disguise and saw Hera with Sero, and that they are most likely working together to help the demons defeat humanity. At the same time, Zeus sees Sero heading toward Harem. When Sero arrives, he boards the ship and attacks Harem, who prepares to fight back. Just before they clash, Zeus intervenes quickly and uses lightning magic to destroy the ship they are standing on. He does this because he realizes that Harem, in his current state, cannot face Sero, who now wields the legendary sword. Despite that, Sero does not stop. He emerges from the water and prepares to attack again, but Zeus intervenes once more, unleashing a series of violent lightning strikes. The power of these strikes is so immense that the other sages notice what is happening. In the end, Harem manages to escape from Sero, and Alexa also succeeds in escaping from the demons. As for Sero, he emerges from the water and sees a bird in front of him. Realizing it is Hera, he immediately attacks her, but she stops his strike in an instant, then hits him with a powerful spell that throws him far away. She scolds him, saying, "How dare you do that, you worthless creature?" He responds angrily, "How dare you push me to try to kill someone named Harem while he is protected by one of the sages? You are leading me to my death." Hera reassures him, telling him she will help him, and that their plan will continue as intended, and they will be able to kill both Zeus and Harem. She promises him that if everything goes as planned, she will grant him everything he desires, and will lead him to the person who hurt him in his childhood so he can take his revenge. At the same time, Harem and the other young men meet Zeus, who is still in disguise. He tells them that the sages have already begun interfering in the war, and that what is happening now is only the beginning, and what is coming will be far more dangerous. Then Zeus asks Alexa to go to a place called Meldonia to find the bodies of the giants and burn them, and he asks Evo to accompany her. Evo hesitates and becomes afraid, almost backing out. But Zeus tells him he must go to atone for his actions. Evo tries to deny it, but Kofi convinces him that they have no choice and that this man seems to know everything. In the end, they agree to help, even though it is clear they are hiding something. Zeus then asks Harem for his opinion, and Harem tells him that he wants help to become strong enough to face Sero. At that moment, Zeus summons a giant creature, which Harem mounts, while Zeus transforms into a bird and tells him to follow. And so, Harem takes off into the sky after saying goodbye to his companions. In a short time, he reaches the city of the sages, where most of them look at him with disapproval, as they do not like the presence of a human among them. However, Zeus's children accept him, except for Hera's son. At that moment, Hera arrives and confronts Zeus in anger, asking how he dares bring his human son to this place. Zeus responds with equal anger, accusing her of plotting against him, then tries to calm things down, apologizing for his mistakes and asking her to forgive him so they can end their conflict. But Hera sets one condition, that Harem must be killed. Zeus refuses immediately, which makes her furious. She threatens him and then leaves. After that, Harem goes to rest, and the day ends. The next morning, Zeus takes him to train and tells him that he is half sage and half human, and that people like him may inherit the ability to use magic. So he will test him. Harem enters the training arena, where a massive machine attacks him violently, throwing him to the ground again and again. He tries to strike it multiple times, but without success, while it continues to hit him. Zeus then comes down and tells him that he must not let anger control him, but instead remain calm and focused. Harem tries again, but he is still driven by anger, so Zeus scolds him, saying there is a difference between strength and anger, and that anger does not grant power as he believes. Frustrated, Harem leaves the place. Meanwhile, Alexa, Evo, and Kofi are on their way to Meldonia. During the journey, Alexa asks them about what the old man hinted at. They try to avoid the question, but Kofi admits that they made a mistake by selling something important to the wrong people, without explaining further. We return to Harem, who is sitting sadly, when Zeus comes to him and says that he has learned many things in his life, but it seems he is not very good at being a father. Then he leaves. Harem goes back to the training arena and resumes fighting the machine. As the battle continues, he finally realizes the importance of focus. He calms himself, lets go of his anger, and discovers the machine's weak point. He blocks its attack with his shield, then drives his sword into that weak spot and destroys it. Zeus is extremely happy, while Harem suddenly feels something strange, a strong sensation that Alexa and his friends are in danger. At that moment, Zeus had also revealed a shocking truth to him, that Sero is his brother, and that he did not die when he was kidnapped, but instead followed a dark path. Zeus had learned the truth too late and could do nothing about it. This revelation hits Harem hard, but it only strengthens his resolve. As soon as he senses the danger, he quickly mounts the creature again and rushes at incredible speed toward his friends to save them. After that, Zeus goes to Sero and reveals the full truth to him. He explains that Hera had been deceiving him all along, driven only by jealousy. He tells him that she was the one who led him to the place where his mother was, causing him to kill her with his own hands. He also makes it clear that she never helped him in the past, but rather ignored him completely, while Zeus himself was the one who had always been on his side. Zeus shows him all these memories, but Sero hesitates and asks, "What reason do I have to trust you?" Zeus replies that he wants nothing in return, that he is giving him this information freely, and even tells him the location of the man who kidnapped him as a child. Although Sero does not fully trust either Zeus or Hera, he decides to go to that place, where the man who destroyed his life is hiding. The scene then shifts to Chiron and the others, who have reached the outskirts of Meldonia. Chiron warns them strongly that this land is extremely dangerous and filled with terrifying illusions. He tells them to cross quickly without running, and not to look back no matter what happens. They all agree. Alexa asks Chiron to return and protect his people. Despite his hesitation, she insists, so he leaves. The group then moves forward into the fog. Immediately, the illusions begin. Each of them sees their worst fears. Some turn back and perish, while others struggle to stay focused. As for Alexa, she sees her parents calling out to her for help, but she knows they are dead, so she forces herself to ignore the illusion with great difficulty. In the end, only a few of them survive and manage to cross the cursed land, but suddenly, a massive creature appears and is about to attack them. Luckily, Harem arrives at the last moment and shoots a precise arrow into its head, then urges them to hurry and find the bodies of the giants. On the other side, Sero reaches the man who kidnapped him. Without hesitation, he attacks him, tortures him, and kills him brutally, as if he has fully embraced darkness. Meanwhile, Harem and his companions enter the cave that is supposed to contain the giants' bodies, but they are shocked to find nothing there. The real surprise comes when they realize they have fallen into a trap, as a huge number of demons appear, led by Sero. Sero approaches Harem and tells him that he now knows they are brothers. He offers him a chance to join him in taking revenge on everyone who wronged them, especially Hera. He even proposes ending the era of the sages and starting a new age ruled by demons. Then he gives him a clear choice, either be with him or against him. Harem refuses firmly. Sero prepares to fight, but Harem surprises him with an arrow that knocks the sword out of his hand. Then he unleashes a barrage of arrows on the demons, killing many of them. At the same time, Kofi and Evo show impressive skills, tricking the demons. Eventually, they all retreat, as they are heavily outnumbered. However, Sero chases them, mounts a flying creature, and begins attacking them with his spear until only Harem, Alexa, Kofi, and Evo remain. They escape on Harem's creature, barely managing to get away. They head toward the city of the sages, while Hera assigns Sero a dangerous mission. Shortly after, she senses that someone is watching her, so she fills the area with dust to reveal the spy. Hermes appears, but Ares suddenly strikes him with a powerful blow and knocks him to the ground, then continues beating him. Apollo arrives and intervenes with fire magic, pushing Ares back, allowing Hermes to escape. Apollo, however, takes heavy blows before being thrown into the sea. In another scene, Sero reaches the depths of the ocean, where he finds the box containing the sealed power of the giants. He takes it and tries to leave, but a massive guardian machine awakens and attacks him. He fights it fiercely, manages to disable it, and escapes with the box. Hera is waiting for him. She takes the box and breaks its seal, releasing the power of the giants once again. Then she disguises herself as one of Zeus's sons, approaches him, and suddenly strikes his neck, knocking him to the ground. She attempts to finish him off, but Hermes arrives just in time and saves him. While Hera escapes, Zeus falls, bleeding heavily, and at that very moment, the giants are freed. They have returned, and with them, the nightmare the world once feared has come back to life. Huge numbers appear, and terrifying scenes fill the place. Hera had gathered a group of sages who stood on her side, then went to negotiate with the giants, but they attacked her immediately. At that moment, she began draining the power of anyone who attacked her, which frightened the rest. The leader of the giants then agreed to help her. She restored their power and told them she wanted their help to kill Zeus, and if they did, she would never seal their power in the box again. The giant leader agreed. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zeus was lying on the ground, bleeding heavily. He used lightning magic to close his wound and miraculously survived. At that moment, that ruler arrived with Apollo, and we learn that he was the one who saved Zeus. He had also witnessed Hera's agreement with the giants, so he informed everyone and declared that he would join them in the war. During this, Zeus asked him if he knew the location of the box. He replied that he was not certain, but believed it was in the last battalion at the rear, as that area had unusually heavy protection. Zeus then announced that they would engage in direct war against Hera and the giants. When the battle begins, they must keep Hera occupied so that someone can sneak to the rear and retrieve the box. But who would take on this mission? At that moment, Hermes volunteered, but Harem objected and said, "You are too fast. They will expect you to do it, so let me handle it." Zeus liked the idea and agreed. Everyone then began preparing. Apollo brought Harem a bow and special arrows, Zeus prepared himself, and even the mechanical soldiers were activated to join the battle. The decisive moment had arrived. Everyone stood waiting for the confrontation, and then the giants arrived. It was clear that this battle would be legendary, especially with Hera and Sero joining forces with them. As the epic battle began, we see Harem and Alexa thrown into a ball of fire, while Kofi and Evo are thrown into another. All of them end up in the area where the box is supposed to be. Quickly, Harem fires an arrow into the sky to signal Zeus that he has reached the location. At the same time, the war is raging. One of the giants destroys a dam, flooding the area, while the sages fight with everything they have. The scene is chaotic and extremely violent. That ruler attacks several giants, while Zeus fights with immense power, but suddenly, unexpectedly, Hera intervenes and ambushes them. We return to Harem and his friends, who quickly defeat the demons in their path. But when they search the wagons, they find no sign of the box. Then Harem comes up with an idea. He summons his bird, tells his friends he will not be long, and flies into the sky. His guess proves correct, as Hera had assigned birds to carry and protect the box in the air. Harem begins shooting them down one by one. Meanwhile, Hera is pressuring Zeus heavily, and even hurls massive rocks at him with incredible speed. Zeus counters with lightning, striking her and knocking her to the ground. Back to Harem, who is trying to seize the box after driving the birds away. But Sero spots him and rushes toward him. Fortunately, Harem reaches the box first. At the same time, Zeus is trying to convince Hera to stop before it is too late. But she tells him that everything happening is the result of his own actions. She is about to attack again when suddenly a giant grabs her and nearly kills her. Despite everything, Zeus still loves her. He shouts her name, gathers all his strength, and flies toward the giant, tearing it apart with lightning until it releases Hera. After saving her, he moves toward her, but the giant grabs him at the last moment. Harem sees everything and speeds up to deliver the box to Zeus, but Sero intercepts him, strikes him, and even kills his bird. Despite this, Zeus is still focused only on Hera. Suddenly, he gives her a signal, just like the one he used the first time they met. When Hera sees it, she remembers everything they shared. Their first meeting, her love for him, and how he always used that signal before unleashing lightning. But she also realizes that now he is restrained, meaning the lightning will hit him as well. And indeed, Zeus releases the lightning, destroying a large part of the giant's body. But it is too late. Harem sees what happens and cannot comprehend it. At that moment, Sero knocks him to the ground and takes the box. Hera tries to grab Zeus's mask, but Sero suddenly stabs her, severing her arm. He is about to kill her, but she transforms into a bird and escapes. Meanwhile, the giants launch a fierce assault after witnessing everything. Even Ares, Hera's son, who was supposedly allied with them, is betrayed and attacked, but his brother Hermes saves him. Apollo is also fighting but gets captured. Along with that ruler, it becomes clear that the giants are gaining the upper hand. As for Sero, he watches everything from above, pleased, but suddenly, Kofi jumps on him and restrains him, causing the box to fall. However, Sero quickly throws Kofi aside. Evo steps in to save him, while Alexa defeats a beast, and Sero finally falls to the ground. But he does not stop. He launches a powerful attack on Alexa, which she barely blocks. Then Harem arrives and joins the fight. Sero throws his spear at him, but Harem catches it skillfully, leaps into the air, and unleashes a series of powerful punches, each stronger than the last. He is filled with guilt, while also remembering his father after his death, and continues fighting with everything he has. But Sero manages to stop him, and the battle between them becomes extremely intense. Suddenly, Sero grabs Harem and pulls the spear toward him, then drives it into his body. It is a shocking moment, yet Harem refuses to give up. He grips the spear and, in a sudden move, pushes it further back, striking Sero himself. Sero stands there in shock, unable to believe it. Harem then pulls the spear out, and at that moment, he remembers Zeus's words, "Focus, you likely carry the same power as me." Finally, Harem truly focuses and lets go of his anger. Then comes the biggest surprise. Lightning bursts from his eyes. He uses this power to strike Sero with immense force, completely defeating him. And so Sero's story ends, after choosing his own path. Once, he saw those who tortured him and killed his guardian as monsters. But over time, he became the very thing he hated. After this intense battle, a giant appears and attacks Harem. But at the last moment, Harem touches the box and absorbs the power of all the giants, bringing the battle to an end. Days later, Harem wakes up in the realm of the sages. When he remembers his father, he feels a deep longing for him. Now he is there because they are preparing to choose who will succeed Zeus. The question remains, who will it be? Will it be our hero Harem, or Ares, or Apollo, or Hermes, or perhaps someone else entirely who seeks this great power and position? That is what the next events will reveal in the second part of the story. Don't forget to subscribe for more legendary summaries and drop a like to support the effort. Great otaku. See you next time.